Good afternoon. Welcome to APA's weekly webinar series. My name is Billy Zydick, Standards and Codes Administrator for APA. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. The webinar recording will be posted to APA's webpage later this afternoon. You'll receive a follow-up email in the next couple of days with a link to the webpage where all webinar recordings are housed, as well as a link to our upcoming webinars and COVID-19 town hall. We have webinars planned out through December 2020, and many are open for registration. All attendees are in listen-only mode. Please type your questions in the chat box, and they will be answered in the order they are received during our Q&A session. If we run out of time and we still have questions, responses will be sent directly to the person asking the question by Mr. Boyce. Professional continuing education credits and AIA CLUs and ISDs are being offered. For AIA certificates, please send an email to Billy, B-I-L-L-I-E, @apa.org with your membership number. The number of webinar attendees wanting certificates is growing, and getting your certificate might take me a couple of days, so please be patient. At this time, it's my pleasure to turn this over to Daryl Boyce, ASHRAE President 2019-2020. Daryl, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Billy. First of all, just a reminder about the credits earned on completion of the course, and certificates of completion are available as Billy mentioned. Course description, and that was published with the webinar. Learning objectives are around operational performance importance, the current state of the building operations. What can ASHRAE do to support effective building operations? And what can building owner operators do to improve operation of buildings? So thank you very much for joining me this afternoon in this presentation. And I very much appreciate the attendance numbers, and thank you again. During my presentation at ASHRAE's annual conference last June, I spoke about how I had embarked on my ASHRAE journey. And throughout this journey, I became passionate about the idea that making or building things is just not enough, that we must ensure operational performance for the people that live, work, and interact in the buildings. People must succeed within the buildings that we create. And last June, I spoke about my journey. And growing up, my childhood memories of being around large equipment and rugged individuals who operate and maintain that equipment. And at the age of 14, my father left our family. My mother, my younger sister, and myself were left on welfare. And at that time, I was thrust into the role of man of the house and chief operating officer of our substandard housing. And how I began to appreciate the importance of safe, healthy, effective building operations. And at the age of 15, I went on a junior high school trip to a local university, and we toured the power plant of that university. And I asked the tour guide who was responsible for the facilities in the power plant, and he said mechanical engineers. And it was then that I caught the mechanical engineering bug. And then how I was a young technologist, and I learned about ASHRAE and began using the handbook to succeed as a mechanical systems designer, then quitting my job and returning to the university to get my mechanical engineering degree. And my ASHRAE journey continues as I focus on my society theme of building for people and performance, achieving operational excellence. Since becoming president, I've been able to focus on global engagement, visiting with numerous chapters and participating in a variety of meetings and events here in the United States, Puerto Rico, Canada, as well as Sweden, Malaysia, Colombia, Brazil, Japan, Greece, London, Belgium, Dubai, Cairo, Serbia, and Thailand. My ASHRAE journey was to take me to many new places in the spring, but COVID-19 has put a stop to all travel. And so I'm operating from home and trying to participate as much as I can in ASHRAE business. So the question is, why should we care about operational performance? Well, it makes sense to pause and ask why. Part of the reasons are operational performance focuses on assuring operational performance for people who live, work, and interact in the buildings. It's a message and a goal that touches on the core of ASHRAE's vision of a healthy and sustainable built environment. In short, it's good for the environment. Now, as I've traveled to many chapters and other organizations this year, I've received strong support for this initiative. Building operational performance is not just a North American problem, it's a worldwide concern. Now, there are several reasons it makes sense for ASHRAE members. And first, we own the buildings that we design, build, commission, or operate. It's my building. It's our building. It aligns with the ASHRAE mission of advancing human well-being. People, the human resource, have always been the HR at the center of ASHRAE. And as a result of numerous discussions of building owner-operator organizations, I can assure you that building operators need our help. Now, ASHRAE members have touched buildings. ASHRAE members have touched buildings all around the world in many different facets. The one defining global message that shines through time and again is that we are passionate about the buildings we design, build, commission, and operate. You can easily view the gallery of ASHRAE buildings on the ASHRAE website. With the opportunity to create a new ASHRAE global headquarters building, we are living the real world challenge of designing and building a great environment for our staff and volunteers that will operate effectively and not waste energy. So let's stop and ask why. Why are great designs not delivering great operations? Well, there are three key reasons. First, designers are not always focused on operability during the design process. Designers need to develop their great designs with a focus on effective operations. Second, buildings are more complex. We design technology to help improve operations, but it doesn't always end up that way. And third, operators are being overwhelmed. Generally, they do not have the skills to operate today's buildings, are not properly oriented or trained. Several post-occupancy studies identified the following key causes of performance slippage. First, buildings were designed with systems that exceeded the capacity of the building managers to operate them. The study found a correlation between building performance and the quality of the management. And systems were complex or innovative, requiring several years to refine and understand. And finally, insufficient commissioning. The studies found a correlation between performance and the level of commissioning. So let's talk about solutions. What can we do to ensure that people succeed in the buildings that we create? Well, we are developing a guide. ASHRAE is developing a guide on designing for operational excellence, which will provide building owners, managers, and designers the guidance they need to understand the operation and maintenance needs of buildings and to design and operate buildings in a technology-driven environment. The guide will focus on concrete steps to design a building to meet the needs of occupants and achieve operational performance. Now, before expanding on this upcoming guide, I'd like to acknowledge President Member Sheila Hayter's publication, Smart Grid Application Guide, that was just released at the Winter Conference and is available on the ASHRAE bookstore website. Our new guide will expand on lessons learned and other information from organizations around the world, such as the United States General Service Administration, Design Guide for Operational Excellence, focused on applying lessons learned through post-occupancy evaluation. The CIBSE Guide M, Maintenance Engineering and Management from the UK, and the Building Services Research and Information Association Soft Landings Program, again from the United Kingdom, and many others. So what are some of the key strategies for achieving operational excellence? First, we need to include building operations team representatives all the way through the design, not solely at the end of the design. At Carleton University, where I was responsible for facilities for 20 years, we learned our lesson and established building controls reviewed by our operating staff all the way through the controls design and installation. And the design should also reflect the capabilities of the people who will be operating the building. As a result, we'll be not leaving the operators with, how do I make this work? We need to establish effective turnover and orientation training programs. And we really need to stop and understand what life is like after the building is handed over. We need to design buildings for the occupant operators that occupy the space, the people who will be interacting with the building automation system and the windows and the doors and all those things. All design decisions should be evaluated for their impact on the indoor environmental quality. And we need to always remember that humans, the occupants, are the best sensors of comfort, and we need to listen to them. Again, at Carleton University, the operations team has been working hard to improve the building operations through the use of fault detection and diagnostics. They have piloted a number of software products to understand the most effective way to use these systems. They've also utilized the latest technology within the building automation system to enhance the interaction with the building occupant through the use of color codes at the thermostat. Red for individual heating mode, yellow for shared heating mode, and green for cooling mode. They also conduct occupant training sessions and distribute surveys to understand occupant requirements and concerns. And with this technology that's available to us today, we need to consider adding the concept of a digital twin to improve the understanding of building operations as a base model. We need to understand and use the power of artificial intelligence to enhance the operation of buildings. By doing this, we'll be able to harness the huge volume of data and turn it into useful information. Remember, technology can act as a bridge to span the gap of understanding to help our operators utilize our great designs to provide outstanding indoor environments while using energy effectively. Then we ask what our ASHRAE members could do, and first of all, we can learn, get engaged, and act differently. Now, I've had the chance to learn from our members about the challenges and opportunities they face in achieving operational excellence. I've also learned of the great strides being made in the area of operational performance. While attending the Region 14 CRC Chapters Regional Conference in Greece, I learned that the Greek chapter was working with the Greek Navy to improve the operation of their land and marine-based assets by evaluating the effectiveness of current systems and recommending cost-effective ways to upgrade the systems to provide improved indoor environments. Now, at ashrae.org/president, we have created and consolidated a wealth of resources that focus specifically on building for operational excellence. And we continue to receive steady traffic to the Operational Excellence resource page, and I encourage you to visit this page for more information and updates. Something happened to my slides here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, design for effective building operations will be available in the fall of 2020. A new guide is being developed as an educational tool to inform building designers and operators about the key operation maintenance needs of the building and to provide practical steps to prepare and operate in an excellent manner. This guide will also include case studies of various types of buildings and will be organized to apply to new and renovation projects. Now, getting back to ASHRAE, we are engaging and growing as a society. We have 3 new chapters were added in the fall members council meeting, and new chapters added includes East India, Rajasthan, and Chandrahar in India. We have new sections in Ajjabai and Nigeria also added. 17 new student branches, and a total of 26 new student branches have been added during the 2019-20 society year. And we continue to engage and expand our message through media and through social media. We've had over 1,972 ASHRAE presidential Facebook page followers, 4,000 plus likes and shares, and we've been included in numerous publications. And if you want to follow me, although I'm not moving very much, you can follow me on facebook.com/ASHRAE/president. Now we're engaging with other organizations as well, and we're growing our partnerships and relationships that help extend this year's theme of operational excellence. We have signed renewed or new MOUs with the American Chemistry Council, APA, Leadership and Educational Facilities, International Facility Management Association, National Environmental Balancing Bureau, National Institute of Standards and Technology, U.S. Department of Commerce, NIST, Smart Cities Council, and the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. And we're engaging in our own headquarters building. On January 10th, 2020, we held a groundbreaking event to celebrate the start of construction on our new global headquarters renovation. And we plan to learn from the renovation and upgrades of a real-world building owner dealing with the balance between energy and indoor environment. That's our ASHRAE members building. The design, construction, and transition to operations will be fully documented and will serve as a learning process for our members and the communities. The project is also being documented by the Bowman Research Committee as a case study in repositioning of an existing building. We have recently agreed to work with a company to create an enhanced BIM model as well as a digital twin to our building that will be available for evaluation as part of our demonstration project. And we've also included a new IT backbone within the building that will collect all the data from our building operations IT network so that we can have more effective analytical tools in operation. We've also formed a multidisciplinary task group on effective building operations. This group will coordinate the activities of multiple technical committees, task groups, technical resource groups, and other stakeholders in the area of training and tools to support the operation of buildings to enhance the indoor environment and use energy effectively. Responsibilities include suggestions for research as well as development of technical programs and special publications on effective building operation. Its current goals are to develop a training process template for owners, training guidelines with recommended course or equivalent, develop a set of desired metrics, KPIs for building owners, expected staffing per square foot for various facilities or operational goals, establish a strategy for the co-sponsorship of ASHRAE programs and educational materials, implement ASHRAE research projects in the area of building operations, and be actively involved with APA, IFMA, and other industry organizations to develop standardized KPI for facilities types, occupancies, and locations. And we promoted our members to continue to engage with building operators at the chapter and society level to improve our understanding of their problems and develop education and training programs to reduce that gap between design, construction, and operations. We're reminding our members to listen to what the building operators are saying. And we're suggesting that they have at least one meeting a year at the chapter level to talk about operational challenges. And we believe the meeting could focus on operational challenges encountered during the first couple of years of the building after the building is turned over. Now, how does this connect with our ASHRAE strategic plan? And ASHRAE is acting on a wide variety of initiatives that will help achieve operational excellence. The first two of our four initiative areas of ASHRAE's 2019 to 2024 strategic plan are externally focused on the built environment of the future. First of all, there's resilient buildings and communities, which involve the development of practical, usable knowledge to prepare the built environment to adapt to adverse events or threats, such as natural disasters, adaptation to changing climate conditions, or even an act of terrorism. Increasingly, it's been recognized that smart buildings and integrated systems are central to successfully addressing challenges proposed by climate change, natural disasters, accidents, disease, and terrorism. This initiative will give members in the industry access to new research results, standards, guidelines, programs, and practical tools for resilient design. The second area is indoor environmental quality. The goal here is to leverage the vast knowledge ASHRAE has generated in the areas of air quality, lighting, thermal comfort, and acoustics to create a comprehensive approach to creating high-performance indoor environments. Our work can help building owners and operators set concrete and measurable IAQ goals for all building projects, and we can dramatically change how buildings impact the people who occupy them. ASHRAE's commitment to creating net zero energy buildings is evident through our actions. In June 2007, ASHRAE released ASHRAE Vision 2020, producing net zero energy buildings. This vision has helped guide plans for our new global headquarters building. Our new global headquarters will showcase best practice and help us achieve our vision of a healthy and sustainable built environment for all. With the opportunity to create a new headquarters building, we are living the real-world challenge of designing and building a great environment for our staff and volunteers that will operate effectively without wasting energy. And we will continue to act differently this year, as I will appoint a Vision 2030 Presidential Ad Hoc Committee to develop ASHRAE's plan for the building of the future in 2030 and beyond. So we can achieve operational excellence, and we can do better. We will do better for those who operate our buildings. Remember, people must succeed in the buildings that we create. Let's ensure we take the steps to achieve effective operational performance and enhance the operator experience. It's good for the building, it's good for the people who live and work within those buildings, and it's good for us. Now, this concludes the AIA Continuing Education Systems course. And you can learn more at ashrae.org/president, facebook.com/ASHRAE. I'll just say one other thing before we go into some questions, and I'm sure there's a few questions coming in. This pandemic situation has really been a rally point for us in terms of trying to put together solid recommendations to the industry and to other organizations, World Health Organization, federal governments, and whatever on how to manage the ventilation systems and the building operations in a pandemic situation and a return to relatively normal situations within the built environment. And so we have created an ad hoc committee, and there are many resources available on our website under the epidemic area of our website. And so with that, I'll open up for questions, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Daryl. Your first question is, who is supporting the T2O transition to operations with your BIM model on the headquarters?
Who is coordinating?
Supporting, yeah.
Oh, supporting what organization, I guess?
Yeah, who's doing the transition to operations?
Yeah, so the organization that's doing the enhanced BIM model, which will end up being a digital twin for the building, is a company called Pinnacle, and they're doing that they're contributing that to the headquarters building project. So they'll be taking the BIM model pieces that were put together by the design team, enhancing it so that we can use it as a operational model for our renovated building.
Okay. Next question. How do you see the skills gap impacting the availability of skilled building operators, and what can we do to mitigate the impact?
Yeah, that's a huge challenge around the world. As I said, I've worked in the facilities area for various universities for over 40 years, and it's really a problem, and it's accentuated by the fact that we're becoming much more technical in the buildings that new buildings we're building and buildings we're renovating. Technology is advancing much faster than the ability of the people that are asked to operate the buildings can advance. So the real solution is that you take there's no real training programs for these individuals, even if the individuals have a building controls understanding, to transfer that understanding of the devices into the operational strategy that you use once you have the devices connected into a network. Is a totally different situation. And the best way to do that is to actually provide training and in the buildings with the people that you have. And we're also starting to talk to some technical training organizations about programs that they could put in place. But the best answer really is to work together, ASHRAE, the technical resource, working with the building owner operator resources to develop training that will bridge that gap of technology. So working together with the APA and the IFMA and the BOMAs of the world, I think we can really achieve much better results.
Okay, thank you. Our next question. How do we respond to the desire for fresh air but not overreact or lose energy gain, such as zones with CO2 sensors are better than just adding too much exhaust and causing mold issues at the dew point this summer?
Yeah, the ventilation rates is a challenge, and you're going to find that coming out of this epidemic, there's going to be a lot of pressure on many organizations. I think that increasing the ventilation rates is the solution to providing a safer environment, and that's one of the areas that we're doing research on in ASHRAE is what is that? You know, if you look at the standards, ASHRAE 62 standards, there are minimum ventilation rates. So what's that saying is that that's the lowest you should go on ventilation rates, and to increase that, there is a penalty in the energy side of it, but there's this kind of a sweet point there where, why do we build buildings? Generally speaking, we build buildings to support people's activities, and so we have to find that right amount of ventilation and temperature control, and that's going to satisfy the individuals and make them more productive in that indoor environment.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Rather than relying on operators, do you believe the continuous commissioning software built into the building automation systems will be our future?
I've had a chance to have quite a bit of an experience with fault detection analytic software, and I believe that's part of the solution. And I say that's part of the solution because as you have this technology, new technology in the building, you get a tremendous amount of data. And generally speaking, with that tremendous amount of data comes also a whole bunch of noise in the system. Generally speaking, the operators call that alarms, nuisance alarms. If you can engage analytical and fault detection software, it can analyze all the data and start prioritizing the areas that need attention. I still think you need competent people to operate the buildings, but this would give them the ability to not be putting out all these false alarm fires and actually focus on the things that are important. We had an example at our university. We're in Canada, so we have some pretty cold winters, and one of our air handling units was in the middle of the night. We'd just go off on freeze stat, and you'd have to come in and manually reset the freeze stat. And for a number of years, we couldn't figure out what it was. They put fault detection analytics on it, and it indicated that there was something in the software that was written to control the building automation system, control the air handling unit, had the dampers opening up in the middle of the night. And in the middle of the night, in the really cold weather, then it would set off the freeze stat. The dampers would close again automatically. And so this fault detection software found something that would have been almost impossible for our operators to locate.
Okay, thank you. With regard to the 2019-2024 strategic plan and indoor environmental quality, bipolar ionization claims to reduce outdoor air, while the recommendation against virus protection is more fresh air. Does ASHRAE have a recommendation against this? And is UV still the best solution within the air handler?
Research has shown that ultraviolet, properly applied, can actually kill the viruses. There's no question on that. Again, the key terms is properly applied. It has to have proper spacing. I don't believe the answer to the solution is not just more and more outside air. The solution is effective air distribution and control, and these are the areas that we're speaking to in terms of our epidemic task force. So the best area to go and get the latest information is on our website under the epidemic task force, and there's new information coming out more or less continuously out of that group. It's a volunteer group that's working tirelessly in this area, and we're even connected with researchers out of China to gain insight from what they learned from the outbreak within China. So I'm not the expert in this area, but the people on this task force are the experts, and if you want to stay in touch with the information we have on our website, you'll find it very useful.
Okay, thank you. Next question. What standard specifications can owners reference to develop design guidelines which ensure the turnover of useful, organized O&M information from the construction team?
Yeah, that's actually a work in progress, I'd have to say. It's one of the things that we hope to do in our headquarters building. And I said it's like a living lab case study for our members and the building community. Is figure that out. How do you take that the BIM model, the traditional BIM models that the design teams design with, manage them through the construction to be useful information coming out the end in terms of maintenance and operational tools. And we believe that our experiences in our headquarters building, and let me just stop for a minute and say that our headquarters building is on schedule to be occupied this coming October. So there'll be more information sort of coming out on our website about how this is progressing. And I expect that we'll have this enhanced BIM model and digital twin available probably late this year or early in the coming year for people to see how we did it. And out of that is the possibility that we could have more guidelines that will fill in part of the guidelines to help us transition from design construction into operation using the latest BIM tools.
Okay, Thank you. Next question. The data network is often a weak link in regards to the building automation software. As buildings become smarter, relying on software for operations, monitoring, notification, etc., what successful measures are suggested to ensure the network communications aren't the weak link?
Yeah, it's a pretty big question, actually. And one of the things that we're doing in the headquarters building is we've actually come to an agreement with Cisco to put in a very robust IT backbone in the building. Although it's not a large building, I mean, it's a 60,000 square foot building. And we want to really figure out how to be able to connect and integrate the data on this network infrastructure. Now, most of the fault detection analytics, the connection of the analytics with the building automation system takes the data and moves it into a cloud environment for it to be analyzed. And then after it's analyzed, it then comes back to you in terms of through their analytical tools. Some are people-based and some are purely intelligence-based. And it comes back to you as messages about areas that you should focus attention on. And so as long as you have the ability and those analytic tools to get the information from your facility into the cloud effectively, that could really enhance the operations of your facilities.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other questions for Daryl today? I don't see any more in our queue. We'll just give people a minute or two. And Daryl, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to give us this presentation today. And I'd like to thank everyone who took time out of their schedules to call in today for your presentation. So I want to say thank you to everyone. Be safe, stay healthy, and we will have our town hall tomorrow starting at 12:30 Eastern time. And we're going to talk about space, a new frontier. So I look forward to talking to everyone. Again, Daryl, thank you so much.
Oh, you're
Have
welcome.
a great day, everyone. Bye-bye now.
Welcome. Thank you. Bye now.